Hello and welcome back on Evolve Quest. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the fear of missing out, and also I'm gonna share with you how I've been working on taming my wanderlust bug in the past week. So I think for friends who know me well, I think it will be quite funny that I'm here to talk about FOMO, the fear of missing out, because I am someone who really craves and really goes for experiences out there, and also I'm traveling a lot of the time. So for the past 2 years I was traveling a lot. For me, fear of missing out, it means that when I feel like I have to or should do something, when I don't have time or energy to do it properly or to give my full attention to that activity, whatever that may be. It could be seeing a friend, could be doing the project at work, could be going to a yoga class. Here, for example, on this island, it has so many fun things to offer, so many fun workshops and dance techniques and people to see. I feel like it's especially present for me when I'm on this island. And I think for many of us, there is so much stimulation coming from the outside world, so many people to see, so many clients to go after at work, so many projects to do. It's kind of constant and never stops, and there is a danger of burning out. And a lot of people, especially in the investment industry that I work with, a lot of people are burnt out because they feel like they need to go after all of those things, all of those opportunities, and all of the socializing and clubbing and traveling. And so to have every single minute of their day being busy with things, and when you do those things, they feel kind of rushed. So I wonder, if you can, while you're watching this video, if you can identify a theme in your life in which you feel you are doing things where you feel rushed all of the time. And, maybe focus on that area of your life right now as I'm continuing to share my story of this week. So as some of you know, I've been sharing here on my channel that I've done a 10-day meditation retreat in Thailand. And it's been 10 days since I've left it now. And one thing that I've noticed as I was at the retreat is that we had to do some chores there. So some cleaning up, raking the leaves, cleaning out our dorms, where we stayed, etc. And typically these are the kind of activities that I would really try to avoid really hard. Like I remember when my mom used to ask me to clean up my room, I would spontaneously develop a headache. It's something that I used to really hate to do, and I don't really usually tend to look after, my house, was making sure that it's tidy a lot of the time. So for me it was a really big surprise to notice that at the retreat, for some bizarre reason, this cleaning up activity that I needed to do felt weirdly enjoyable. And I wanted to inquire why it made me feel like that. Why was I enjoying raking the leaves and cleaning the dorm, with the rest that I had to do there, this manual kind of work. And I've realized that I think it has something to do with the fact that, for one, I had time to do it. There wasn't much to do at the retreat apart from sitting and meditating, having a bit of food, and that's that, and doing the chores. So the fact that I wasn't looking forward to whatever is coming next, I wasn't living with expectations of what had to be done next. And I wasn't thinking much about the past because, I was there to focus on the present moment. That was my job. So I had time, and I was in the present moment with that activity. And then, again, really bizarrely for me, I found that pretty much any activity is really enjoyable when you have that luxury of time and attention to the present moment to do it. So when I got back to the island, I thought, oh my God, the first thing I want to go and see all these wonderful people that I know here and eat all those wonderful tasty, delicious, healthy foods, and go do all of these workshops and, dance workshops, yoga, and, help all of those massages. I've been really craving it. I've been doing nothing for 10 days after all. But at the same time, I had really a lot on my schedule, a lot of the things that I had to take care of on my return, like doing taxes for the year. I had a lot of coaching calls scheduled with my current clients, and also I've done a bit of marketing before leaving, so I had a lot of calls scheduled with potential clients as well. So my schedule was pretty bang, 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 bang. And then I was just, getting stressed just thinking about, all of the things that I had to do and all the things that I want to enjoy at the same time. And I decided to do something very strange for me. I decided not to take a scooter. Yeah, it's funny to see, observe your attachments and during the retreat and when you come back. Yeah, I had an attachment to having a scooter when I'm on the island because it allows me, all these wonderful things to do. It's access to go to all these places because taxis are not easy here. So you need a scooter to get around. And I'm staying somewhere that's a bit far from, all this fun action. So it was really funny to watch how my heart was really pounding when I made this decision. And I was kind of panicking. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'll be lonely. I won't be able to eat well, all this delicious food. I get bored. I thought eventually I'd get really bored of being this way. And it was really surprising to me to watch that now it's been 10 days that, today's the first day that I got the scooter because I wanted to have a special day when I, one-off day when I go and see people. So I took a scooter for a day. But it was really interesting to watch that those 10 days that's passed, they were probably the most enjoyable days that I've ever spent on this island. And yet I was busy doing my tax returns and working a lot of the time. And I think the reason that, I can't say I've loved doing my tax returns, but really strangely, it did not feel so much of my emotional energy, mental energy to do it. I had time to really do it slowly. And, I could breathe. I could do it for a little bit and then have a glass of water, look around me. I could do it with time, so it didn't feel that terrible at all. It was fine doing my taxes. At the same time, I ate simply, and that meant for me eating healthy. So I was making food at home, and that means I didn't have all of those temptations. There's so many delicious vegan cakes on the island. I can be having every day. And I found that I was eating really clean, and it was enjoyable, it was nice. And another fun thing is that I wasn't missing out on socializing as much because, people who are really my close friends on the island, they said they'd come and see me where I was. So they came for lunches a few times. And I felt it was really, that time spent with them felt really special because I wasn't being busy seeing people all the time. And I felt there was nowhere to rush to. And I could really focus on listening to my friends and what's up with them and sharing how I've been. So to me it felt like, the most special lunches, the most special meetings that I've had with them. And I'm very grateful that I have friends like that who are understanding and who are just happy to come over and to just be. It seems to me that although I've said no to a lot of things that I enjoy on this island, it feels that actually I've said yes to something else that seems more fulfilling to me and more satisfying. I'm not gonna live like this all of the time, just being locked up in my bungalow and on my terrace. So I decided I'm gonna have 1 or 2 days a week when I take the scooter and I go around the island and I come to visit people I want to see and go to restaurants and come to this beach. So I took a bike yesterday, so I still have it this morning. And I cannot tell you how much more special everything feels. And I know it must sound, I don't know, silly or something, because I feel really blessed to be able to spend time traveling and working remotely and being in places like this. But still, like after all this traveling and all this luxury that I've experienced for the past couple of years, and all those experiences, they're very thrilling to begin with. But over time, you notice that all this stimulation, first of all, it just never ends. After one desire, you have the next one. After you eat in one Michelin star restaurant, you just want to go to the next one. After you get one nice bonus one year, you want to get more next time. So just noticing that this desire and attachment to things and experiences just kind of never stops. So I found that cutting back on that somewhat actually gives me access to satisfaction and the sense of fulfillment in life that's more profound. And also gave me back this ability to appreciate what I have right now. And I know living my kind of lifestyle is a luxury for many people. But even then, I've noticed that I've run out of the sense of appreciation for what I have. And it was very sad for me to see, because this is pretty much what I dreamt about for many years. So just noticing that, having the moderation to an extent with this all this stimulation brings back the appreciation. It was incredible. So yesterday and this morning, so going to my favorite restaurant on the island, I thought they must have got new recipes or a new chef or something. But it was the same that I always have. It's just that I have it every other day, and now I just had it once in 10 days. It felt mind-blowing, the curry that I had there. And the friends that I saw in the evening, it was this wonderful family that I keep on meeting all over the world, and now they're on this island. Their faces looked brighter than I normally look at them, and it's just so enjoyable just to be present with them and be in the moment and having time and space and having not been social for a while to come back and revisit these experiences and see how special they are. How special so many things in our lives are that sometimes we forget to notice. And coming to this beach this morning, I haven't been swimming all this time. Going into the water, oh my God, amazing. Just, the feeling of floating and the sun on the skin and the salty water, the colors. You just notice things so much more. So I want to remember that, if I'm feeling like I'm falling out of appreciation of things and gratitude for what I have, whatever it is that I'm finding I'm not appreciating anymore, I should just cut back on it. If I'm not appreciating my work so much, I should try, I should work less for a while and see how quickly I get bored out of my mind. If I'm not appreciating the foods that I eat plainly for a while. If I'm not appreciating my partner as much as he deserves to, let's spend some time apart from each other. We could have, a holiday away from each other, or we could just simply going for lunch separately, spending one day away from each other. So if you're getting any ideas from this, I'd love to hear what it is that you might like to try. Which area in your life would you like to bring back the appreciation for? And see, if you get to try it, I would love to hear how bringing moderation and saying no to some things in that area of your life. What kind of a joy do you experience when you come back to it? And I know I have a special kind of lifestyle where I don't have the kids yet, and I work remotely, so I don't have to spend all this time rushing about to get to work and all the rest. I know it can be very difficult for people who do live in large cities and have families and kids to look after. How bloody hard it must be, you know, to be able to find ways to be present and in the moment, and, you know, doing less of something. How difficult it is to really make that time and space. And if you are someone with this type of lifestyle, I would love to hear, you know, your tips, how you find ways to stay present and attentive for the activities that you do, and how you're managing to do less when you have so much on the go, and how that is affecting your life. It's something that I'm finding on this topic of doing less is that my ego is very much attached and places importance on doing more. It feels that if I have more client calls scheduled in my calendar, that somehow I am a better coach or a more successful entrepreneur. And it's really interesting to watch these attachments and how this is something that is coming from my ego, and it is affecting my work. It's keeping me busy and stressed. So when I am on the call with a client, you know, am I able to be as present with them? So just watch, you know, in whatever area of life you choose to consider for the purpose of this exercise, think about like what specific ego state that you're attached to. So is it being a star employee? You know? Is it being a star mother? You know? Is it being an amazing friend? Is it being an amazing entrepreneur? Whatever comes up for you. Look at it and notice that this is an attachment. This is an ego attachment to the idea you'd like to have of yourself. And on one thing you think this is something that, you know, of course it is something that helps you and propels you and gives you this drive, and in a way makes you a great mother, you know, a great employee, you know, a great entrepreneur, a great friend to people. But at the same time, you know, you may notice that people, work and every other thing, maybe it does not require as much of you. And maybe if you are doing less of that, you know, if you're not spending an hour on a project, but half an hour instead, maybe that half an hour is enough. If you know this is all you have and you are not getting distracted and you're just focusing on that one activity, notice the attachments and laugh at it. That's funny. And if you feel like you're really being too rushed or you're getting burnt out in that area of your life, see if you can put this idea of being excellent at this to the side and focus on just being good and having energy and having time to be present with that activity. Because when you clear out all the rest, you find that you're less distracted, you're more focused, and hence the quality of your work improves. So as with an example of my tax return this week, it typically takes me 3 weekends to pull together expenses from all of these different sources and that are just all over the place. PayPal, Amazon, like God knows where, receipts all over my luggage. And this time, it was really surprising to see that I ended up pulling all of the expenses into one place in 3 hours, maybe 4, 3 to 4 hours, but it was one half day of work and it's done. And I don't know, like, what does it depend on? My focus, or the fact that somehow magically things just showed up in the right places where I was looking for them. But the fact is that I spent a quarter less time on an activity that I normally would. So just consider this and see how and where you could apply this in your busy city life now. So I've been talking for a while here. I would love to hear your comments or your takeaways from this ramble, and also some of the ways that you are learning to do less, but be more. And so I just wanted to highlight my 3 key takeaways from this experience this week of saying no to certain things and saying yes to focusing on the present moment. So One, too much entertainment and the shiny adventures I'm trying to, chase all of the time desensitize me from enjoying those same things. So I'm not trying to run away from all of the things. Instead, I'm relearning to enjoy and appreciate those things when I do them in moderation. So, so it leads to my second thought, which is if you feel like you are lacking appreciation and gratitude in a certain area of your life, take a break. Take a break, say no to a lot of things there. If it's food, eat plainly. If it's your partner, see him less. If it's your work, try not to work or, do less at work and see how quickly you get bored. So try to take time off some of those activities, and then when you can come back to them, see how much more joyful and fulfilling they are. And lastly, focus on your breathing. Notice your breathing more often. So there's this thing in yoga, in the yoga practice, that some teachers say if you are, try not to get distracted by this, can you? Focus. Do not do a posture until you can fully focus on your breath while you're in this posture. And that actually I'm trying to apply to life as well. If I cannot focus, if I cannot breathe well while doing something, if I'm holding my breath, that means I'm too stressed, and I need to look at what am I attached to here and focusing on doing less in that area while feeling more peaceful and feeling like that I can focus on my breath. So noticing the breathing and breathing more through the activities, through any activities throughout your day, will give you a pretty good indication if you're doing too much there or not. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to this. It's super important for me to realize this and make sure I continue applying this in my life. And I hope that you also are taking away something from this. If you have any questions or comments or observations that you want to share, leave your comments below. Subscribe to my channel. I post here now more regularly than I have been, sharing my insights from this journey of exploration. You can also, if you have some things you want to ask in private, my email is katrin@evolvequest.coach. And I'll see you in the next video.